But at 21, I took a hard decision that I want to do this as a career and how can I do it? So I initially wanted to just be a singer. And how anybody likes to play the PlayStation, for me, it was like the piano was like that. Like I had to learn a new song every day. I was bored of it. Like, cause I'd sleep with the guitar literally next to me. It would be lying on my bed. So if tang, 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 tang works, everyone wants to do tang, 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 tang and make their own melodies on it.
Are you a loser? Are you a freak? Do you need a lover? Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Don't bother me.
Welcome to Real Strugglers, where we talk to real filmmakers and actors about their struggles working in the chaotic world of films. Today, our guest is Hriday Gattani, who's a composer, music director, singer, performer, event manager,
Yeah, man.
and a former actor.
I have only two hands, but I do. I put my hands in too many places, in too many pies.
So Hriday and I know each other now for a few years. I saw him in the other episodes. You probably heard of Balle Balle. Hriday was in Balle Balle. Yeah. And after that, he also composed music for the pilot that I made. And we had a lot of fun making the music because Hriday likes rock, I like rock. So we kind of tried doing a space like that. And it was a lot of fun. We put a lot of nonsense lyrics in it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so Hriday has been associated with A.R. Rahman now for how many years, dude?
Started working in 2014 with him. Yeah. So yeah, like 9 years. Wow. I myself hadn't counted this, but yeah, 9 years. It's crazy.
And how did you how did that happen?
So I didn't know I wanted to be in music. Like I knew I wanted to do something in the field of media because my dad's in the same field and I'd seen the field growing up and it always excited me, the idea of being on set or, being a part of creating something out of nothing literally, which gives you like this entire audio-visual treat.
Hriday, how do you get into music?
Basically, I didn't know that I wanted to get into music. I realized really late. I'm super late bloomer. I realized when I was 20 or 21 nearly that music is what I want to do as a career. I was always into music though. I've always sang when I was younger as a hobby. I'd been told by friends and family that, oh, you have a nice voice, but that was about it, right? It was not like, oh, this can be a lucrative career. And I think growing up also, I saw a lot of concerts because of my father. He is in the live entertainment world and in the media world as well. So he did a lot of TV shows, worked on films, if marketing or whatever. Like he did a lot of stuff from that point of view. So I was exposed to this world and I knew I had to do something with this world, like because I love the audio-visual platform. I love the idea of connecting to people with and giving them something that you can make out of nothing, and you're giving them something bigger than they can imagine, or anything that enhances your senses. That was really beautiful to me. I was like, wow, you can do that. You can climb up on stage and say, hey, and like everybody goes crazy or whatever, just sing one note and people are going mad. And I think I really connected with that very instinctively. So I knew that somewhere this is going to be a path for me. But at 21, I took a hard decision that I want to do this as a career and how can I do it? So I initially wanted to just be a singer. And I didn't know how to, I knew how to play a little bit of guitar because I learned a few chords on my own because I was in bands and stuff like that when I was younger, when I was in school, when I was in college. And a few of my friends were guitarists. So I was like, teach me a few chords and stuff like that. And that's it. That's my knowledge of music till I was 21. Then it was just like an uphill battle, I would say, or an uphill. It's not even a battle because I enjoyed it thoroughly, like every moment of it, right? Because when I started deep diving into music and I said, okay, I want to learn, I started taking Indian classical music classes, I started taking Western classical music. I went to KM School of Music and Technology in Chennai, which is Rahman sir's school. And actually that's where it happened, where obviously there were some connections and everybody knows Rahman sir, but Rahman sir knew of me as well because of my father and the work he's done. But he spotted me at KM Day when the annual day that happens after the year gets over, where I played The Beast and Beauty and the Beast, and we did this whole musical, like a short 10-minute summary of the musical on KM Day. And I sang like 4 songs in that. And he was like, you have a really nice voice, you should. He came up to me and said literally, and I was like, wow, that's huge. So
Did you meet him before that?
Yeah.
On a professional level?
No.
Never.
No,
Okay.
never on a professional level. In fact, he had no idea. He was like, wow, I didn't know that. I thought like, okay, cool, you want to learn music, come learn at the school or whatever. But I never knew that you had such a nice voice, and he was quite pleasantly surprised. So that was amazing. And I think that fueled me with confidence, right? Because that, like, when somebody up there who doesn't need to honestly say that to you just for the sake of it, says something like that, he truly means it, and he's taken out the time to come up to me and be like, hey man, like, you have a nice voice, you should learn more. And I was like, yeah, I would love to. And then I thought, what do I do? Should I go to Berkeley or something like that and study? And he was like, learn the old-fashioned way, man. Come to the studio, sit, hang with the right kind of people, learn on the job. And I was like, I'm ready. I'll come tomorrow. And I literally did that.
And you moved to Chennai?
I moved to Chennai for a year or two. When I was 22 or 23 to about 26, 27, I used to be in Chennai 6 months to 7 months a year. Like half my time would be spent there at the studio and like working with him or working with people there.
And when you were in Chennai, like when you were like in the studio, what kind of work would you do in your initial days?
So it started off with like literally nothing. It just started off with no work. It started off with just hanging out. I remember I went into the studio and started sitting when Ranjana was being recorded, the film, all the songs for the film. So I remember sitting in on the session where the song called Nazar Laina was being recorded by the guy who sang Kabhi Kabhi Aditi as well. He was Rashid Ali, he was singing, and I remember just like sneaking in and sitting in the session and he was singing and somebody was recording him. And I was like, wow, this is how it happens. Like, this is how it all goes down, how people record. I remember sitting in on the mix session of Tum Tak with Nitish, who mixed the whole album. And I was just so in awe of him, like automating the reverbs and the delays and getting so technical about it. And I was just like, wow. So this is not so simple. It's not like a band comes into the room, plays a song in 3 minutes and it's done. You just release it the next day. It's like so complicated, right? Because there are engineers, after even recording it, like there are engineers working on it day and night.
And so what did you learn in your music course that you did over there?
I actually only learned vocals. Like,
okay.
I learned
Production never came in?
No, never.
Okay.
I learned theory, a little bit of music theory, and vocals. Because my course that I took up was not a foundation. I mean, it was not an overall course. The one that I wanted to do was vocal performance. So my course was called Certificate in Vocal Performance from KM. Because I knew I wanted to be a singer. I said, I want to perform on stage. How do I make it happen? And this was the most obvious thing for me to take up. But yeah.
And in musical theory, like before that, you probably didn't know how to read music and sheet music and stuff like that. Now you can.
Yes.
And now what instruments do you play?
Majorly I play the guitar and the piano.
Okay.
And like dabble with the drums a little bit. Can play the bass. And yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, once you learn the keyboard, I think it unlocks it like, it's like that, unlock all levels. It's a cheat code to life. To a producer, I would say.
Okay.
Because once you learn the keyboard, you can play any instrument on it. Every producer actually learns keys because then there are sampled instruments of like, I can play the violin on the keys, I can play the sitar on the keys or whatever you want. Right?
And also the keyboard kind of is like classical music is built around
yes.
the keyboard, like musical theory, like your notes are, it's not like in a guitar where your notes kind of...
It is still the same way, but it's the simplest on the keyboard because
Correct,
it's literally chromatically seen.
Yeah,
it's
that's
seen
what
in a chronology. Whereas in the guitar also it's chronology based.
But each string has its own
But yeah, exactly.
chronology.
It gets a little complicated when the shapes keep turning and shifting because each string is tuned differently. Whereas on a keyboard it's simple. If this is C, has to be D. There's no other option. And this is C sharp, this is D, this is D. I mean, and it's very visual, right? In a piano because and you have both your hands to play and harmonize the notes, which is actually really interesting because what you can do with each finger makes it.
And was keyboard difficult to pick up for you? You started at 21. Most people learn music at like 11, 10.
So I had a very bratish experience to learning keyboard, to be very honest. So it's very typical brat kind of thing. I just decided I wanted to play piano. And my dad asked me what I wanted for my birthday. I said, I want a piano. I didn't know how to play one. But he bought it for me and I got a piano at home, which I didn't know how to play. But the best part was, unlike most people who buy something and they just like left it in the room, I actually sat every day and played the same damn thing. I learned 2 chords, C and D, and I was just like C, D every day. And then I was like, I'm bored of this now. What else can I learn? And I actually like used to go on YouTube and sit on my like piano. And I wanted to make covers. I actually got into the YouTube game like really early, right? I I think I made my first YouTube video in some 2005 or something, right? Like
Really?
2006, yeah.
How old were
actually.
you?
I must have been 2005, 2006, 14, 15, man, like 15, yeah. No, not 2005, 2006. Little later, 2007 probably,
Okay.
but like really early, like around 17, 18 types. Because of that YouTube world, I was like, wow, you can put up like covers on YouTube, and I wanted to learn. And the thing was, I was dependent on like someone else, right? Because I had to like hit up a guitarist or a piano player and saying, hey, listen, come now, let's meet and let's make a cover. Because we'd recorded on a camera, phone camera or whatever, like on a camera and put it up on the on YouTube. So I needed that dependency, and I was like, screw this dependency, I want to do it on my own. So that's why I learned the guitar also. And it was just like learn 4 chords and then take it from there. But yeah, a lot of time went in it.
Right, yeah.
But I don't honestly say it was difficult because I really wanted to do it. I can't even say those things, like there was this whole training period or something. No, I was so excited. It was like how anybody likes to play the PlayStation. For me, it was like the piano was like that. I liked to play it every day. And I was finding different combinations every day. And I think that taught me a lot.
The piano came in only after your musical training with...
Yeah. I mean, kind of, yeah.
And this was during college. What were you doing with music then? Before that, you went to college, right?
Yeah, I was only singing.
Were you only singing?
I was only singing. So we had cover bands. I had a cover band in school as well. Oh, we performed at like Pogo Amazing Kids Award. I sang The Reason by Uberstank. And I used to only sing English music, surprisingly. And then like in college, I started singing a little more Hindi. And I made a band again there where I would sing.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to play the guitar or anything. And I didn't even know how to sing. If someone would ask me, what scale do you want to sing? I'd be like, whatever the song is in, yeah. Just play it like how it is now. You're asking me questions.
You didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know. And then I'd like be screeching and be like, it's a little high, no? And they're like, okay, we'll just take it a notch down, like a step down. And I'm like, okay, do whatever you have to. So I was like that. I had no knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so that's what I was doing. And then slowly, gradually, I picked up the guitar and stuff. During college as well, I actually started picking up the guitar. College, I mean senior college. Like, I mean, when I was in degree college.
Degree college.
Yeah.
And when did you get but you moved away from like the 4 chords by then, I'm sure.
Yeah. But I mean, it was a quick trajectory, to be honest. Because for me, like I had to learn a new song every day. I was bored of it. Like, cause I'd sleep with the guitar literally next to me. It would be lying on my bed. So I'd be watching something, and in the middle of it, like I'd be like, shit, I want to play this song. And I'd be playing a song. And if I wanted to play a song, I'd be like, how do I play this song? Like, if I have to learn a different chord, I'd go on Google and like type out, and then it came across like tab sites or guitar,
Yeah, guitar.
And then
Ultimate Guitar.
if I was like, yeah, Ultimate Guitar. Literally, I have a subscription to Ultimate Guitar. I used to also. I still have it, I'm sure. So that became like my main go-to. And then, oh shit, how do you play B flat, man? I'm never like, so I would go online and be like, how do you play B flat? And then they'd actually show me the shape. And then I'd watch a YouTube video of this guy like showing me. Then I'd struggle with my hands to find how to play a B flat. And then it happened.
Yeah. When you never thought of hiring a teacher to teach you all this?
I did. So for instruments, I did. I got, not for guitars. Because I felt like the expression of guitar, like, there are so many schools of thought. Whereas like everybody any guitar maestro that you listen to has his own style, right? And that's what I caught on to, saying that guitar is something that you can probably play your way, right? You can have your own signature, your tone, your style. I felt like by listening and adapting was better than to get a teacher to tell me that these are the rules. I didn't want the rules when I played the guitar. I wanted to break the rules. Because only then will you find your own tone and your own style. So, I mean, that's the aim. But like, I mean, today, how, in a very popular standpoint, I'll tell you, like today how an Ed Sheeran plays guitar and how a John Mayer plays guitar is two different worlds.
Yeah.
They're not the same rules.
And Ed Sheeran doesn't need a John Mayer type guitar on his...
That's what, exactly, yeah. So it also depends on the kind of music you do. And I think it's a vice versa game. Like your guitar playing also drives your music style to be formed. So I wanted to keep a guitar something that I interpret. Whereas piano is still something that has certain rules, right? Because it's a very fixed, I mean, it doesn't have, again, you can also interpret piano your own way, but there are certain rules because, again, like you said, it's been one of the most important musical instruments in classical music as well. So it has certain rules and certain ways of playing. So that I wanted to learn for sure. So I learned piano for a bit. And then my teacher, he moved countries. So I couldn't continue. But I took those basics that I learned from him and then I kind of
kept practicing,
kept learning, moving ahead. And when you start producing, you start using the piano, so the keyboard so much that you kind of grow in any case. Like, you know, your hand sits. And now I play keys on like Rahman's live band. So I'm a keyboard player actually. So it's
So now you play keyboard live.
Yeah, I play keyboard live, man.
Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that also was such a humongous transition for me because the first time he told me was last year during the US tour that you're a part of the band, you got to play keys and sing. So I was like, play keys? You mean like play keys? He's like, yeah. And I was like, he's like, I know we'll do it. We'll all play and like you'll be able to do. I was like, okay.
Is it like a MIDI keyboard that you play? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's not just piano, right? That I have to play.
It's the other sounds.
So many. You're playing santoor somewhere. You're playing strings somewhere. Like you're playing pads somewhere. You're playing synth lines somewhere. All of that stuff, you know. So,
Have you ever played guitar for his band?
I have actually. Yeah.
Okay.
So the fun part is he's very chill. Like he's like, hey, you know how to play guitar, right? So play some guitar in one of the songs. So then in the tour during Vande Mataram, I like take out, and I bought an electric guitar in the US. So I just like picked it up and I started playing for Vande Mataram. I played on Mustafa, backing up I played on another song.
Do you play lead as well or?
No, majorly rhythm.
Okay.
Because I can play lead, but in the studio, not live. Like
You need retakes.
Yeah, I need retakes to play lead. Yeah.
So from sitting there and observing music being made in his studio in Chennai, when did you start being involved actively in the music production over there?
It was very like gradual. I mean, it was it was like a nice slope where slowly, like I think it started with, after observing and gone to Prasoon sir is here, he's writing some lyrics, sit with him, help him scan the lyrics into the song. Because he'd already made a melody of something, and then like it started with that, and I started with doing scratch vocals, like in the sense every song gets a scratch singer, right? Before the main singer actually comes and sings it, to just understand, okay, it's sounding good, like the lyrics are working, so I used to do that for a very long time. Scratch vocals went into, hey, I have a random tune, do you want to like cut it up and select the good parts from that tune, because it's like a 7-minute, 8-minute tune, do you want to make like a quick song out of it? And I'd be like, yeah, cool. And he loved what I did with it. So he's like, you're good at that, yeah? So then I started with that. And my proficiency got better with the workstation, meaning the DAW. Which is where all the music is made. So he was like, oh, cool, now you know how to do this. So now, help in the mixing of a song. Okay, produce something. And slowly, gradually, hey, I want to add like strings in this song, or I want to add this, different chords in this space. Try something. Record backing vocals. What will you make them, And I record backing vocals. So you're arranging backing vocals as well. You're like saying, okay, now you sing this note, now you sing that note. Like that kind of stuff as well, designing that. A guitarist is coming in. I want something different for this song. What can you come up with? Okay, done. So sitting with the guitarist and literally telling him, no, I don't want a typical strum. I want something else. Like play this. And jamming with the guitarist and like coming up with ideas and stuff. So it went from there to actually producing. So it was a very slow, gradual.
And what was the first song you produced for them?
Produced was one of the songs that I only sang called Maskhari from Dil Bechara.
Okay.
I produced that song fully. Yeah.
And you sang for him before that though, right?
I sang for him before that. I actually got lucky. Yeah. So basically, when I joined the studio and was observing that first year, only one of the scratches that I sang, one of the first scratches I sang was loved by the director, and it went into a film. It was called Lekar Hum Deewana Dil, the film. And the scratch I sang was called Too Shining. And it was literally my first scratch I ever sang for Rahman sir. And he played with the director, and the director was like, I love his voice. It's so fresh. Let's use it. And he was like, it's a new actor as well. So it'll be interesting to have a new voice for this actor. So I sang 2 songs in the film.
That must have been a big deal for you, right? Like
massive.
1 year into working with this man, you've gotten an opportunity to be on a film.
Massive. I was on cloud 9. I think it got to me also a little bit. Like, obviously, right? Because you're young, you're 22, 23, and you get to sing a song in a big motion picture in Bollywood, associated with a lot of big names, and A.R. Rahman is giving you a chance. It's like, you think you're at the top of the world, right? And then everything crashes and you're like, oh, okay, I have a lot to learn, man.
Yeah.
So it was great. I think every part of that experience was so important for me. And it's very important for your journey. Like, I remember coming back from Chennai after singing that song and finally knowing that it's going to be in the film, thinking that now my phone is not going to stop ringing. Like, you know, like now I'm just going to get calls and be like, come for dubbing this, come for dubbing that. And I came back and I didn't get a single call for anything. And I was just like, what the? Yeah, like.
Okay.
And I was like, what's going on? Like, what's going wrong? And then I kind of introspected and realized, I mean, nothing comes easy, right? You have to work your ass off for something. And I hadn't, you know, I hadn't paid my dues to reach to a level where I wanted to. And I wanted to reach the level. It's not like I wanted to be a one hit wonder. One hit wonder, literally. So I, like, you know, pulled up my socks and I, like, you know, got myself up and said, no, it's fine. I'm not getting a call. It's cool. People will. But I have to be worthy of those calls first. So then I started training. I got a classical, Hindustani classical guru in Bombay. I used to train with him. Parallelly, I used to work at the studio as well and with Rahman sir in Chennai. I started writing my own music, started collaborating with people, started learning the works. When you sit with a lot of, you know, professional musicians, you learn so much from them. You know, they're doing something different, and you're like, how did you interpret that? You know, how did that come to you? And then you kind of mold yourself when you're more into it. I'm sure it's in any field it's like that.
Yeah, you're
As an actor also, when you work with like a Nasiruddin sir or someone, and you learn so many things from him, like, you know, his techniques, his styles, and you adapt. So I think that's what I got to do in that phase from probably 2013, 2014 to 2017, 2018. And I'm still doing it, to be very honest. I mean, I won't say that I know it all now. I don't.
And when Dil Bechara came, that was your first, like you had a couple of songs that you sang on.
I had.
And you had produced, you were music supervisor for the whole album? Or?
I was the music supervisor of the whole album.
So that was your first music supervisor
That was my
role?
Technically second, because before that English film released called Blinded by the Light.
Yeah,
and I sang
Springsteen
the Bruce Springsteen one, and I sang a song in that, and I had music supervised for that as well, and that was the only song in the film. Again, Rahman sir only.
Was it an English song?
It was an English song. It was an English Punjabi song. I sang the English parts, and another boy called Parag sang the Punjabi parts.
Okay.
So I supervised that as well.
So can you explain to everyone what a music supervisor even does?
It's a tough one, you know, everyone asks me this, but a music supervisor is probably like a first AD for a film, for a director. The idea being at an executory level, at a creative level, I am probably not, I won't say as involved, but second to best involved after the music director. So executing the creative vision of the music director, ideating with the music director, being a bouncing board with the music director, putting in my creative decisions and thoughts also at some points, because sometimes, you know, the music director is not available and a decision needs to be made. So that also comes on me.
Have you ever made a decision that he didn't like?
I don't think it was ever that grave that it couldn't be redone.
Okay.
But yes, I have made a decision so many times where I've been like, yeah, let's try this, and then he's coming and be like, no, nice idea, but no, do it like this.
Okay.
And then we've reworked it. But like small things, like example, you know, like briefing a singer on how to sing a certain line, then him coming in and being like, yeah, but no, let's not do it. Like I can't put names, but there was a song that I thought should have, like, my decision at that point was, so sing it like how you would sing an old song. And then he came in and he's like, no, let's add a new edge to it. You know? So that kind of stuff, yeah. But yeah, I think it's because and also with Rahman sir, he is not the kind to be very territorial about his work. He's not like, it's my music, man. You don't say anything, you shut up. It's more like, he loves the fact that I bring something to the table, and then it's okay, right? It's on the table. He can always realign it and reposition it and remove something and keep some portion of it.
So technically, is he also well versed in production?
Oh, he's the best.
Yeah.
He's the best. And I won't even like mince my words when I say it. He's the best that there is in this probably world. Because I'll tell you why I say that also. I mean, there are so many greats when it comes to production as well. So I won't take anyone's credit where it's due. But why he's the best is because he can do everything, right? What I mean is, like, he's dabbled with every genre in this world. A lot of artists they form a genre, a space, and that's their genre for the rest of their lives, right? But with Rahman sir, he's never had that. It's been every other genre. Like, he's done every genre possible, from a Spanish flamenco song to a reggae song to a hip hop song to a...
And that's so important for when you're doing for films,
Yeah,
because
so
films
You
are...
have to be versatile. Like,
Correct.
you can't just be dependent that, oh, I'm great at sad songs. You know? I mean, if you want to do full album film works, right? Like if you only want to do the full album and you want to do, and he also does background score, right? So that adds so much, like, because then he knows how to orchestrate as well, like orchestrate for big symphonies. He knows how to orchestrate Indian music. Like, he has such good rhythm sense, incredible rhythm sense. Like, I've seen him like literally take a simple thing and turn it into something out of my imagination just by changing a little bit of the rhythm.
And as a collaborator, like, what's the collaboration process working with someone like at that level?
In fact, it's very scary at first, because when you walk into the room, you're like, what can I add? How can I bring value to A.R. Rahman? Like, Rahman, it's like walking in and telling William Shakespeare, listen, don't say the, say why. Or, you know, like, I mean, you'd be so inhibited to kind of speak your mind, right? But he is so forthcoming when he wants opinions. And he's so welcoming. Actually, not forthcoming, he's welcoming. That's the right word. He's so welcoming to opinions. Like, he will literally keep asking, what do you think? He'll play something in it. Nice, no? Or, what do you think? And you can actually say, I think so, what it was before was better. And he'll be like, yeah, even I think so. Or he may just say, no, let's try this. You never know. Maybe we'll grow into it. You know, like, he's that kind of a human being. You can't, I won't be scared. He'll be like, who are you to tell me? He's not that kind of a person.
And this is with everyone he collaborates with, or
Everyone.
you built that relationship
Everyone.
up? Okay.
He is. So for him, I think also a humongous part of his journey has been the fact that he's been a damn good collaborator. So today when he brings on Orianthi, who played guitars, who's Michael Jackson's guitarist, and who played guitars on all of, not Slumdog, the Nadan Parinde film,
Rockstar.
On Rockstar, he gave her the space to be Orianthi, not to be what he wanted her to be. You know, he draws he gives you open canvas to paint, and then he can realign it always, or he can mute something, or he can use this differently. But at least it gives you that openness to be yourself, and then you use it your own way.
That's and in terms of musical training, like he's he's been around for now.
He's been around
like
for
30 plus years.
30 years, 35 years, yeah.
And a lot of technology keeps evolving with media and stuff. So in his time, what he learned was probably a more analog way of production to now. So like, I'm sure you've kind of understood like what it probably was like to make music in the analog era and now. So how does he credit a lot of it to learning it that way, or and is he very is he curious, and is he the type of guy who wants to adapt to new technologies, try new things out?
So the best part about him, again, is that he's seen the best of both worlds, like the analog world as well and the digital world as well. Because in India, he was one of the first people to bring in the digital world into music, right? He was the first ones to start using a sequencer, synthesizers. He was the first one to probably start adding synthetic sounds into mainstream music. Otherwise, people always recorded bands, right? Like in the 90s, early 90s, he was the one who brought in that trend of these, like people used to keep saying he has the water droplet sounds and whatnot in his music. And that was because he was sequencing and he was using technology into his music. So he's always been someone who's liked to not just buy, but get involved into the new technologies. He's the first one to invest into whatever is the latest musical instrument or, musical technology, plugin. In fact, he has a very, very huge fondness for the cinema world also. So, from filmmaking as well. So he'll buy every new camera, every new drone. He's very into it, technology driven, wise, and he's quick at learning also. Of course, because he's seen the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah.
I always say this. I feel like the 90s generation, still also knows a little bit of that analog world. So we've seen the best of both worlds, but he's a part of that world as well. For anybody post 2010 actually doesn't know only what the analog world was like, and it's actually coming back now.
Yeah.
So when it's coming back now, it's good for people who've seen both to really mix and match both and use it to their advantage.
And has there ever been a time where you've had both of you have been rushed on a deadline and you need a song 48 hours maybe we have to get a scratch ready?
Yeah.
And you have nothing ready before that. And how does that happen?
Magic. He's magic that way. He comes up with tunes at the back of his hand.
Yeah.
So that's never been a problem for him. He can come up with a tune in his sleep, to be honest. Like, he's like that.
But isn't there a fear of, like, even for you when you're composing, isn't there a fear of being derivative of something else? Because we're all without our own knowledge, we're influenced by millions of things that we kind of interact with and see or hear. How do you bring that sense of originality to something when, because
Because you spend enough time with it, you let it brew. I feel.
Okay.
You know, nothing is, even when there's a 48-hour deadline, you respect the process and you tell the other person that, you know, I think the quality of the product is more grave than the deadline. You know, if you can push the release by a day, no problem, but let's get the best thing that we can out there, right? So he's always, I mean, I think the product is always king. So he will never do something impulsively. He'll always brew with it. He'll take his time. And he's very well informed. So the thing is, he's listening to everything that's happening. So he knows that he's not deriving from anything else. So, you know, he knows it because he knows. You know, and sometimes it can happen because humanly there are only those many notes that you can make combinations of, and there is always going to be a possibility that something sounds like something. Like something looks like something as well, right?
they're like 6 chord progressions that you can have?
No, not necessarily.
Or
There
like-
are billions of combinations, I'll say, right?
But in terms of change the chord, but it's like always a 1, 3, 4 or something
So
like that.
that's what I'm saying. There are no rules as such. Like
Okay.
in jazz, so there are no rules at all. You can have any combinations of chords, right? You can have dissonance also. It's called dissonance in the sense something that you're used to hearing, like when you're used to hearing a C major and singing a sound C. I can actually play a G minor and play the sound C also. It sounds a little different, but it sounds dissonant. That's what they call it. So dissonance is also beautiful sometimes.
And by now, like, how many projects have you been associated with him?
Oh, quite a few actually. Live and film wise, quite a few. Somewhere or the other, remotely, I've worked on most of the new age projects at some level or the other. Like Atrangire, been involved. I was involved in the entire Why the musical that happened in Dubai for the Expo. It was a musical that was done by Shekhar Kapoor and composed by Rahman sir. And I was again the music supervisor for it. That was completely involved in.
I was working like with Shekhar Kapoor.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. He's such a cool cat, to be honest. Like, you know, I mean, it's so interesting that people with so much legendary status have so much more humility and so much more accommodation to you than a lot of other people who have worked with who are probably not
At their level.
yeah, you know, like sitting at the same table, eating with them, chatting, learning about experiences, values, opinions, teachings. They're not worried, you know, like this guy steal my idea and run away.
Yeah.
Because they've reached another level of
Yeah,
zen.
even if you steal his idea, you're not going to make it
It's
like,
like
"Yeah,
him,
man,"
yeah,
right?
exactly, right?
Whatever you do, you
He's
can't
not
do it.
afraid of that. Like, I mean, it's not like, and I think that's beautiful. Also, humility, right? It adds because you know.
People want to work with you because you have
That's
that.
the thing. You're like, look, they say like, you can't do anything alone. It's always a team effort for anything. You make a film, you have an entire crew. If the crew doesn't feel as attached to the product as you, they won't give their best.
Yeah.
And how will they feel attached to the product if they feel like
It's a collaborative effort.
yeah, they feel like it's a collaborative effort, and that's what these people know how to do the best. And I think that's the most important thing. I feel like if you feel like your head is not on your shoulder, and you feel like, yeah, man, I made a song, and if you want to sing it, you sing it. Otherwise, get lost. Like, then I'm just going to feel like, why am I? I'm just doing this guy a favor. I'm not
Yeah.
actually a part of something, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's what's needed. That's what's always needed.
And has this translated into the work you do independently as well?
Yes, it has, but it's you know, so unfortunately or fortunately, I work alone on a way where I don't have the access to as many people as Rahman sir has. Even, you know, from the point of view of I can't keep an assistant, or I can't keep. It's not. I can, but it's not
It's not feasible.
economical and
Yeah.
feasible at some times, right? So sometimes I have to do it myself completely. And then when you formulate something yourself so deeply, it becomes a little difficult to take some criticism sometimes also, because then you take it as criticism, not as input. So it's a battle, but yeah, I try my level best to, you know, break that and be like, no, I respect your opinion. And do things.
And now, I mean, now it's been 9 years, so you've also started venturing into doing your own things on the side and stuff like that. So how do you manage to be a musician, performer, and also manage to like, survive economically and creatively?
I think you can only survive if you do everything now in this day and age. You can't survive if you just do one thing. I feel. I mean, this is my personal feeling. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, that's your journey.
Yeah, because I feel like if I just did independent music, it would be very difficult for money income.
And you've done independent music. You've done.
And I'm doing it. I'm doing it. But I have to mix it up with doing shadi shows also to to fund that independent music.
A.R. Rahman works in every language, right?
Yeah.
And have you sang any of his other than the Hindi songs?
Yeah. I've sung in Telugu for him. I've sung in English. I've sung in Hindi. I've sung in.
Do you have a diction coach? How does that work?
The lyricist generally becomes a diction coach at that point of time. Because he can help you. And luckily, my training helped a lot because when I learned at KM, I sang a French song in my repertoire. I sang a German song, an Italian song, and then I speak a little bit of Marathi. When you learn a different language, I think it opens your world of phonetics, the world of phonetics. And that's the most important thing when you want to learn a language.
That's actually now that I think about it, you see all these street performers in different parts of the world, and when they sing, they sound like the original singer, in terms of the accent and stuff. But then you have a conversation with them, and they speak
something else.
Yeah, it's like a different person talking, and that's quite.
No, that's something that that's the art of mimicry as well.
Yeah,
and it's derived from the same space. It's about phonetics, mouth shapes, and so many other things, right? I think as a singer, you kind of also, you are a great singer if you can mimic other people as well. Like Sonu Nigam sir, he's a fantastic mimic. Fantastic means fantastic mimic. I think that adds to the value that he can adapt to any song, right?
Do you think singers who sing for films have to adapt to the actor's voice also in a lot of places?
Not actor's voice, but yes, maybe expression, maybe some things, like tiny things.
Like the tonal... whatever.
Not the tonal quality, but maybe pronunciations, maybe the stylizing of things, etc. Yeah, because you still want to bring what your tonal quality is in a song. Because you're coming on board because you are you. Like I want to hear an Arijit sing because he sings with that husk in his voice. And if that husk is gone in his voice, then he's not Arijit Singh. But
can you rap?
I rap as well, I've rapped in one of my songs, in one of my English songs that I've released myself.
Okay.
Like rap in the sense it's pseudo rap. It's not like rap. It's not like hip hop, pure hip hop. But the ideology of hip hop, like the ideology of rap, I've done in a song. I have noticed to get a following, people want a recall value. They want to come to your page and be like, oh,
like what Ritwiz has.
Huh?
Like what
yeah,
Ritwiz
exactly.
has.
What do you do, right? You add Indian sounds into your song and make us dance to it.
Yeah.
So that's Ritwiz for you. If you hear Ritwiz making suddenly an orchestral song, you just be like, what is he doing, right?
Yeah.
Or you may not. So even if Ritwiz tries and wants to reinvent himself, it's very difficult because I don't know if it'll be accepted.
But if you take English music into consideration, like the Beatles have reinvented themselves album after album. Not one album is the same genre.
But you know what? People really wanted to listen to music. They didn't care about what came with it. Now it's a very different ballgame. It's not just about listening to the music. It's about the brand value that comes with it. It's about the packaging.
Or do you think it's also a fear of failing at something that is new?
I mean, no, there are people who are doing new stuff. There is.
But it's not being accepted as easily.
I don't know if it's not being accepted. Maybe I don't know if it's maybe harder to market because everything is AI.
Yeah.
So
algorithms.
How the hell will AI understand what is good and bad? Because AI only will understand what they've seen that works. So that's why repetition is important. When AI is driving the whole world, and actually AI is driving the whole world. Today social media is driven by AI. My post doesn't get promoted because AI doesn't accept it, probably. I'm just guessing, I'm not even saying. But if I do something different, it's maybe not accepted because they are realizing that, oh, everyone wants to listen to that.
It's like how Spotify organize your playlists into moods. That's again.
So how is anybody expected to grow, and learn new things? Like during the Beatles era, people actually went out and bought CDs. They made the
vinyls,
LPs, vinyls, CDs, cassettes, whatever. you made an effort to go to a Planet M in Bombay and actually take a headset and hear this album and be like, I love this album. I want to pick up the whole album. And then you were forced to listen to the other 5 songs.
Yeah.
Even if you like the first song, you are forced to listen to the other 5. I'm not saying I want to force you to listen to my music, but at least the people were open to like, oh, cool.
But
This
there
is
is also
something I've
so
never
much
heard.
thought put into the album at that time.
And yes.
Like you hear a Pink Floyd album start to finish, it
There's a story.
transitions perfectly from one song to the other, and all the songs carry, like the album carries a mood overall.
Yeah.
There's an overall
Yeah.
graph to it.
Yeah.
And now when albums come out, it's like songs that
Albums don't
disjointed.
come out.
I mean, whatever.
And whenever they do come out, you're right. Songs
They're
are
disjointed.
Yeah. Because nobody's thinking about it like that. No, people are thinking that, oh, how can I make a song that does well?
Yeah, how to make a hit.
How do I make a song that the AI accepts? Forget people. First, you have to make the AI accept it.
Yeah.
So if tang 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 works, everyone wants to do tang 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 and make their own melodies on it. You know, because AI has accepted ki, oh, that shape of you dance hall, tang 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 chicka 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 chicka. That works. Great. Everyone do the same thing because now AI is like this is going to be a hit. And our executives sitting on the big chairs also don't have a choice because they know that if they want to promote something and put their money behind it, they want returns, man. It's a business at the end of the day. I can't just be doing it for passion.
So how do you divide like your need to make music that you love and the need to make music that's going to be accepted?
I don't anymore.
Okay.
I mean, I did it for a very long time and it brought me down actually. Like I made music that will make me accepted and it was nothing like me. And also it was nothing like who I want to be. And that's why I was, maybe that's why I like didn't even connect to the other person that well because they were like, yeah, he's doing something that I've heard before. But I don't see honesty in it completely. You know?
Yeah.
Because he's not being
True to
true to
yourself.
himself.
Yeah.
So I'm stopping to do that now. And I want to do stuff that I want to do. Right? I know it's very utopian, but like, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, because, you know, dude, the problem is as much as information has become easier, it's become harder to find unique information. Right? You go on Google and type something, you get the same thing on 20 links.
Yeah. The promoted links. or
Because the
whatever.
same information, right? Unique information is rare. Like, same information is rewarded better.
And what's the biggest struggle about working in the music industry? I mean, for you?
This is the biggest, the marketing, commercialization of music. Music becoming, so I had a very interesting discussion the other day with a very, very senior classical musician, Asad. He plays the sitar, very, very senior, fantastic musician. He's played on Slumdog Millionaire, that track, Mausam and Escape, amazing musician.
What are the challenges in working in the music industry? Like, what have your struggles been? Like you said, making music that you like is a big struggle. And
No, in fact, making music is actually the easiest part, to be honest. Because
Sorry, marketing.
Marketing is the hardest. That's what I was saying. So, like I said, the problem right now is once you have a piece of content ready or you have a product ready, how do you get it to the people, right? It was in turn, the world has become smaller through the world of the internet and social media and platforms and easy distribution. So we were having a very nice discussion the other day, a very senior musician, Asad, he's a sitar player. He had come over to the studio and we were talking about how, classical music was an art form for the elite, right? The best classical musicians, singers, musicians were only available to the king.
yeah.
They were only singing with the king. The king would pay them a salary and keep them in their darbar to perform for him every week. And the appreciation was the king would invite a few nawabs of a few elite people to his gathering and they would actually sit and listen, right? When music got commercialized, it became for everybody, right? Which is beautiful, right? Because again, now you could take your art form and give it to the whole wide world. But in that process, music started becoming commercialized. Music started becoming a tool for marketing. Music started becoming brand recognition. Music started becoming marketing for films. And now it's come to an age where that time it was still balanced in the 90s and 2000s where music was still just a tool. Now it is marketing.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
music is
throw an
just
item
marketing.
song and your film will get some people.
Exactly.
to
No.
theatre.
So basically, now people don't like they release trailers, but they won't spend as much money on their trailer. They'll spend more money on marketing that one song from their film because people will want to come and watch that song in the film.
Yeah.
There are films that have done extraordinarily well because
Of
the
music.
music.
Yeah.
What this does is there are two good things about it. What it does is, yes, it exemplifies music and makes it reach a humongous audience. But what also it does it is it also monopolizes music because now I'm competing with a Dharma production. When I'm putting out my independent song, I'm competing with a Dharma channel. I'm competing with the T series, where they are putting in crores of money for investment as marketing. And I'm not saying I'm not even going to good and bad, right? Because there's no such thing in art. According to me, an artist is someone who's sitting with like a tanpura at home and singing as well. Like that's art as well, right? I mean,
Yeah.
who am I to judge what's good and what's bad? Whatever. And the thing is, internationally, music was never. It was commercialized, yes, definitely, but it is still more open. Like today, you can be a fan of an artist that I've never even heard of, because that's your preference.
Yeah.
Right, you like that kind, and you have been exposed to that kind of music. Whereas I can be a fan of an artist that you've never heard of because I've been that's my form of expression. What commercialized Hindi music did is it only gave a chance for commercial music to be discovered, right? Because they monopolized radio, they monopolized social media, they monopolized YouTube, they monopolized TV and films with that one song. So if I want my song to be heard on radio, I have to beat their prices.
Yeah.
This is impossible, man. How am I going to do that?
And also,
How am I going to have marketing budgets of a film?
Yeah.
So it makes it so difficult for an individual to market his song unless there's something that has the virality quotient in it. Which means, again, now I'm bound by rules to make music. So either I make a catchy tune, which has like a catchy word in it, and people make reels to it and dance to it, and then it becomes popular. Or I get into a Coke studio, which is also again monopolized because it's a product, it's a brand-driven product, where they're also thinking of numbers. So they'll only work with big names who already have the numbers. So it's such a catch-22 situation. How do you break into this, right? You can't. And how do you let your expression of music out? There are forms. I'm not saying it's an end of the world situation. There are forms, like there used to be NS7 Weekender, and it still is there, which gave a platform to artists that were offbeat and artists that were doing things independently. And there was a form of discovery there because there were different stages where people could actually go and be like, oh, who's this artist? I've never heard of him, but okay, let me check it out. Oh, nice, interesting, right?
Yeah.
And there is a performing circuit which doesn't pay you at all, right? It doesn't monetarily help you at all. Whereas if a artist internationally were to perform at festivals and make his money, he would be paid way better.
international artists at least are not bound by films. Over here,
Exactly.
you're bound by films to become.
Yeah.
Because independent music over here is, like you said, it's harder to break into independent film songs than it is to become someone through a film song, right?
Yeah, and that also takes a lot of lobbying, I would say. Films? Films is not easy.
Correct.
The people who are singing in films, it requires a lot of lobbying.
And there's so many singers who are equally talented who don't get a chance because of the lobbies again.
Exactly. It's a complicated space right now. The duality and the dichotomy of the thing is that accessibility is more because I can literally put up my stuff on any platform tomorrow and it can get popular. Again, the hustle culture of what is popular. Who decides who's a big artist, who's not?
Numbers only speak, right?
But why? What if I am connected to a song at a way bigger level than a song that I listen to every day? It's a little more complicated than just numbers speaking, right? First of all, it's not like people are putting money to the music. It's not like I'm selling a copy where a fan is actually coming and spending $10 to listen to your album. They're getting it for free.
Yeah, they're
Right.
paying the subscription fees sometimes.
Okay, sometimes not. Mostly not. Ads pay for it.
Yeah.
So everything is commercialized. You're understanding? Like the second it became a product, a tool for marketing, that's the moment the actual art form is getting a little pushed back.
Put in a musician now, like someone who aspires to be a musician and make a living out of it.
Yeah.
How do you sustain that?
So you perform, you make money via doing shows. In India, we don't have many portals to do shows as well. We don't have venues like in the West, like at every other bar, a good band plays, like a really, really senior band also plays, and then there are venues, smaller venues, 300 capacity venues also, 700 capacity venues also, 50,000 people capacity venues also. In Bombay, there are 3 venues in totality for probably 1 million or 2 million artists. So even that's a difficult. So what do you end up doing? You end up performing at weddings, corporate events, and what do you have to do there? Again, you have to commercialize yourself because you have
Correct.
to.
How will they know about you?
They'll know about you only if you're doing covers on YouTube or you have already sung a song, film song, etc. And once they do know about you, they
Like how Lisa Mishra got discovered.
exactly, and then once they know about you, they only want you to sing that, right? Because once you start singing your own song, which they've never heard before and commercially hasn't, even if it's I'm not even saying good or bad again, like that's so subjective,
relative,
right? That's
yeah.
so relative and subjective. But if you have a form of expression, that will never come out because they're like, hey, listen, do what you did on YouTube. That's what we're paying you for. Your covers.
And what's your daily do you do riyaz every day? How do you how do you keep your
Secrets. No. It's not a secret. I mean,
practice makes better?
practice makes better. You do riyaz, whatever you call riyaz to be. I mean, riyaz doesn't have to be
Yeah, with the tanpura. Yeah.
Yes, it should be. I don't deny that that's one of the most effective forms. And I should do it more often. But my riyaz is different. I work on my music every day. I go to a studio, my own small setup every day. When I create, I sing new things. I update myself. I try new things. And I keep my voice in tune by doing that.
Okay.
So that's my riyaz. Everybody has their own. But it's always nice to sit down and do some traditional practice as well.
So when you're recording for some other artist, like one of these senior singers who comes in, do they do any like warm-up?
Yeah, even I do warm-ups. Warm-ups are great. Like there are simple warm-ups that you can do. Lip trills are there. I mean, the simple warm-ups like that. You can just open up by doing cadences of notes. La 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 la, and like that you keep doing like the notes and keep going up and down the scale, so it kind of opens up your voice. And then there are vowel practices to kind of help with diction, pronunciation, etc. So you do ga, you do la, you do lu, you do a, u, e. E is great for sometimes when you have a harsh throat. So these are things, I mean, there are great practices and everybody does that. I mean, I do it myself. Most singers do it before a live performance because you have to sing for 2 hours, 3 hours non-stop on stage. So you have to get warmed up. Otherwise, you will injure yourself, hurt your voice, or you'll end up cracking on stage.
It's a muscle.
It's a muscle at the end of the day. Yeah. A lot of people take voice rest.
What's voice rest?
Voice rest means no speaking for a few hours.
Okay.
And then doing a warm-up. Because you're tiring your muscle out even when you're speaking. There's a technique to be speaking as well also. If someone speaks like this and their actual voice is not like this is actually a very bad, because you're trying to be husky and you're trying to force your muscles to not open and contract the way they should. Okay. So this can also harm your voice. But someone's voice is like that, that's completely fine. They will always end up speaking like that. But if your voice is like this, example, if this is your tonality and tonal quality of your voice, and if you end up talking like this all the time, you're gonna damage your throat.
And how does one, everything is at the tip of your fingers. You can produce a song like on your phone or a tablet, may not be great production, but it's still a song.
Yeah.
What are the steps you would advise? Like if you had to start over right now as a musician, you're 16, 15, whatever, what would you be doing?
See, first of all, conviction. Like you have to be convinced about what you're doing. You have to believe in the process. You have to have complete faith in yourself, because as a creator, as an artist, you need to be convinced that what I'm doing is the right thing to do. Okay, don't get dissuaded by other people. If someone tells you, "Nahi yaar, covers hi dal ke tarika hai banna," if you don't believe in it, don't do it. The second one was don't get dissuaded by people. Don't get influenced. Be your own true self. I think as an artist, that's the most important, to be your own true self. I got dissuaded many times by people who advised me that this is the only way. This is the only way to do this, and there's no such thing. There's no only way to do it. I think the most successful people, and I'm sure they'd say it too, I've done case studies, is that they found something unique to do. And they broke out of, this is the only way. Every other YouTuber, artist, whatever you want to be, singer, songwriter, playback singer, composer, background score writer, a musician, soloist has found their own niche, and that's why they've gotten successful. Niche meaning found something that they believe in and truly stay like
They've been true to themselves.
then been true to themselves. And the last and most important thing that I tell myself is, or I tell anybody who's getting into this space is, it's unfortunate, but be self-sufficient. See, teamwork is great. It's the ideal scenario, but it's also
A
utopian.
luxury.
It's a luxury, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a luxury to have a team at the back end, like at your beck and call to help you produce, write, compose, etc., etc. But if you can do it yourself, then you will be able to sustain for very, very long.
And there is also accessibility to that. You don't necessarily need a music teacher to teach you music. You can
You don't need anything.
You can do it on the
TBH.
internet.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need. You need a Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah.
and a device, mobile, whatever.
Yeah.
I know people who make music on the mobile as well. I mean, there's look, at the end of the day, I know people who make music with just a guitar and voice. You don't have to produce a full-blown track. Just a device is enough as well. Any device, a phone, an iPad, a laptop, whatever you can get your hands on. Because honestly, if you're true to your music and you just wanted to make a piano and voice song or a guitar and voice song, it's doable. And you get an accessibility from even point of view of product, like in the sense you can get great guitars for cheap in the market. You can
Yeah.
get
You
resale
get
guitars.
Indian guitars.
Great Indian guitars. Yeah, there are some great companies. Dehradun makes some very amazing guitars. Yeah, JNBU makes great guitars. A lot of people.
And the cheapest instrument to buy is actually a keyboard, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, so true. So true.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, like, I mean, we're digitally at a beautiful space where you can do anything you want to.
Correct.
It's just what you want to do. It is important.
And consistency.
And consistency.
Yeah.
Nothing happens nowadays without consistency. And thick skin, man. Like, you'll get shit comments, you'll get haters. Haters are going to hate. You got to keep going. Believe in yourself. Keep going. I mean, the best and worst example of it is like someone like a Dinchak Pooja, bro. She didn't give a shit about what people were saying. She did whatever. I'm not saying she's a great artist, but she did whatever she had to, and like, whatever. People know her.
Yeah.
So, it was conviction. Like, she did it with full conviction. She wanted to go into the mockery space. She wanted to go into mock music, whatever it is. That's her genre, probably, or whatever you can call it. But at least she was at the conviction that this is me, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
She didn't try to be something she's not.
I mean, that's also important because no one wants a clone.
No one wants a clone.
Everyone wants,
Don't be a clone.
or an auto-tune artist.
No, and no, it's okay. T-Pain also was a great artist in my eyes. But don't be a clone. If some singer is sounding really good and is popular right now, don't try to sing like him. Adapt from him. I learn from, I'll tell you my influences from the Hindi music scene. Mohit Chauhan, so Sonu Nigam, sir, Arijit Singh. I love these guys. I listen to them. I adapt from them. I learn from them. But I don't try and sing like any of them. I try to make my own.
Yeah.
And that's damn important. I feel then you don't have an identity. If someone's going to be like, हाँ वो तो अरिजीत के तरह गाता है, या वो तो
It's like
copy करता है.
It's like Pearl Jam decided not to sing the way they did. Like, they
Yeah,
have such a
and
unique
they wanted to
voice.
sing like the Beatles or something.
Yeah.
Right? He wanted to sing like Paul McCartney. It wouldn't work.
No one who's going to want to listen to another.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like don't be a knockoff like that somebody can use.
Yeah.
You know, just because they can't afford to get that singer or don't have access to that singer, don't let them call you and say, hey, can you sing like that guy? I mean, that's...
It probably happens a lot, but yeah. I mean, also that I think that's also kind of dictated by like your need of the art.
That's what I'm saying. No, it's all commercialization. I don't blame them.
Yeah, if you need the money and you need.
I know, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Also because, I mean, someone has to lead the way, to do something extraordinary. Like, you know, today you see stories of people who've made it. And when you read them, you get inspired to do something great, right? Yourself.
And do you think it's a good idea for people to try and get jobs at like music production companies?
Why not?
To then launch a career?
Why not? I mean,
Because that's the route you took, right?
Yeah. That's the route I took. It worked for me. Beautiful. But someone may be bookish, maybe wanting to learn from a teacher and then get into it. So it's your own way. But definitely on the job really helps you mold whatever knowledge you know into reality.
Yeah, so please like the video, subscribe, watch our next video, subscribe to Hriday. hire him for your weddings and listen to his music. He's a fucking genius, and A.R. Rahman saying it, it's probably true.
Thanks, man.
And yeah, Hriday, any parting words of?
Yeah, I mean, I had so much fun. Like, I've had the chance to work with him before, and we had a lot of fun actually working on that project. And I hope that happens and works out
Yeah.
and releases soon. So, always great to be here and chat. And
Okay, chalo.
awesome.